Welcome. Today we're going to go over some of the changes that are coming up within the PrimeNet application. As you know, we've been slowly transitioning to a different user interface, one that's a little bit more modern, if you will. We've updated a lot of things in the back end of the application to allow for better programming in the future of different things that become necessary or requested. So this is part of what we've been working on for a while. We still have more to go, but so far, let me show you what is going to be coming up. So the main thing is the employees page. Now, many of you are used to working with default profiles, and that's going to be changing to work groups. Although the default profiles won't be going away just yet, the work groups will be what is going to control the things similar to the way default profiles did. So if I click on this and let this come up, I can see I've got different ones in here, and if I come over here and click the edit pin, I can see the time zone, the overtime, lunch, level hierarchy, all the things that are really in a default profile, and then home levels here. Now, one of the advantages to this is that the employee page can be set up to either ignore the policies on this page after the employee has already been set up, or if for any reason I've created employees and assigned them to a specific work group and their location needs to change for everybody in this work group, when I select that, I don't have to do all of them, I'm just going to. When I select this and save it, and it's going to tell us employees that have been bound to this work group will be updated to these new rules unless marked as unlocked. So when I click OK, now any employee that is assigned to that particular work group, and I just clicked on the employee button here, I can click filter, and these are the employees that are assigned that are checked. So John Smith would have effectively had his labor levels changed to what we set in the work group, unless on his specific employee details page it was unlocked, which means he would retain whatever he was originally set up with. So that's kind of our work groups here. If we go here to the company members page, we can see that that has changed significantly, and we'll look at this one down here. I'm just going to click edit, although the ability to add a new employee is up here with the blue plus, similar to the other updated screens in the software. And of course, here is where we define which work group. And if we put this one, then that's going to put different information that's in that work group and pre-fill it out. Now let's look at Harry Potter. You'll notice that you now have the ability to upload a photo. We can see a lot of the same information here, HR notes 1, 2, and 3, with the addition of being able to add more HR notes as you want. Being able to add their address now, phone numbers, Facebook, Twitter, what have you, if that's something that is what you need. Their email addresses, of course now more than one is possible. Education, certifications, language, and visa information all located on here. This is just the personal information page. We've got this broken out into multiple pages. Payroll, these are the different rules that are set up within the work group. Overtime policy, lunch plan, timesheet, and here's that thing. If I click this to unlocked and I go and change something in their work group to do with their comp plan or OT policy or offset, because they're unlocked, those are things that would not change when I update this work group. So that's what we're talking about there. An emergency contact page, their home levels, department, job, location, things like that. Their PTO banks here. A little bit more information, which tells you what their max is, whether negative amount is allowed or not. Biometric templates, fingerprint, face, things like that. There's even now a schedule tab in here where you would be able to view what schedule they're on directly from their employee details page. He doesn't have anything here. Let's go back and look at September, and there we go. We can see what they were assigned to in September if for any reason we need to. But realistically, you may need to know what their schedule is this week or this month while you're in the page, but it's there to be able to see it. Then for those using Dynamic Scheduler are the positions and skills that this employee is assigned to. So these are the basics here that's coming across in the company informations page. The company members or employee details, what have you. So that's going to be the main changes that you will notice once the software is updated. Now there's other things that have been updated as well, but they're not nearly as important, and for the most part you may not notice them. Things like the auto lunch policy, shift differentials, that's one that's newly converted. So, and again, you'll notice the same thing. You know, we've moved away from the old type of configuration, and let's see if I can find one that has that. Maybe this one. There we go. This is the old configuration. It's still just as functional, but again, the newer configuration is a little bit newer AI. And another thing that the newer AI is able to do, if I can get my mouse here, you'll notice that I can lose a lot of information when I resize my screen. So I'm missing a lot of stuff out of here. But with the newer AI, and let me see if I can get back to it here. We'll just do the shift differentials again. And now, when I go down, I can see everything that's selected here. I can edit. I can see the things that are going on here a little bit better and easier than I can than the older type software. So this will resize a lot better on different types of monitors, tablets, and things like that than the old software did. There's only so much you can do when that screen has so much information in it. But it's a lot better than the old style of the user interface, to be sure. Some of the other things that have been updated are going to be things like the automatic lunch page. And again, just similar to what we've been moving to already, the pay types, the org levels, the geofencing, time clock server pages, and things like that have already been updated. This is just a continual process, but I still feel it's important to allow you to see what's going on so it's not a surprise when it does happen. These are to edit, this is to delete the policy, and this is to assign employees. So I can click on edit, I can make my changes, save it, and then click here to add the employees. This by default is going to come up blank. If I wanted to see people in a specific location, or I don't have any levels in there. Cost center. Sorry, I've got to actually choose something in order to see the codes available for it. So if I just wanted to see that, then I click filter. Anybody assigned to the cost center of 9,000 is going to come up. I could click here and click confirm, and boom, they're assigned to the rule all at once. So most everything that is coming up that is changing to this format will work in the same way. Your edit, delete, and the ability to assign multiple employees at once. So another big area is going to be our approvals. And again, we're not really moving things around or changing things. It's just a different look. So the things are still going to be there. You may need to go up and see different things here, but everything's going to be there as you're expecting. Let me put this on a supervisor view. And let me see. This has more employees on it. There we go. There's a few more employees. This one's not ready. 12.7 to 12.20. That one's not ready either. Let's look at 11.23 to 12.6. That one would be ready, or should be ready. And I'm just looking for a pay period where they would be ready to go. So I click here. I see everybody's highlighted. I can then click sign off. And for whatever reason, I've got these in the background. They're not eligible to be signed off at the moment. But your green P is going, or your letter P is going to turn to a green A. Just as you're expecting, you'll be able to scroll down and take a look at that without any problems there. Another thing that's got a little bit of a change is going to be the employee schedules. From the edits and employee schedules, you'll notice this screen is updated as well. So I've got all employees here. If I needed to see inactive, I could. We can come over here and do from, I don't know, November 23rd perhaps. And I can click this down and select the employee that I'm needing, or I can start typing. And if anybody matches what I type, it will show up. Click on their name. And he obviously doesn't have a filter, or I mean a schedule set up. So let's look at John Smith if he's got anything. And I'll have to find somebody with an actual schedule. And let's try this again here. Sorry about that. I have all the employees here. We'll look for one that has a schedule. And then we click the add employee. And now I can see her schedule from the 8th forward. I can make changes to that schedule or leave it as it is. This tells me that these schedules are auto-generated. And let's see if I can manually change one here. We'll go to 10 a.m. and save that. And now I can see it's manually scheduled. Now the dynamic scheduler is a different scheduler. It's much more advanced than our basic scheduling. With the dynamic scheduler, you can actually create schedules for specific locations with specific needs like skills or positions, and then assign employees based on that each week or every 2 weeks or whatever the schedule amounts to. So this is the employee schedules that are in here. The e-time clock page has also been updated to the new one. So again, the same as we're seeing the other new pages: edit, delete, add employees. We can edit this one. I can see it's broken down into 3 tabs. Clock entry, what they're able to clock in and out, or how you want them to be able to clock in or out. Timesheet or bulk timesheet, what we can allow them to do through a bulk timesheet entry, which categories they can choose, holidays, non-work time, things like that. We can control that within here on our timesheet entry or the bulk timesheet entry. The mobile profile has also been updated to the newer UI. And again, we can see that if we want a new profile, we click the plus. If we want to edit one of these, we can come in here and edit these as needed. The general tab here and the clock entry tab. Now, also bear in mind that when utilizing the work groups, that if we make a change to this policy, it will be pushed out to all of the employees with the changes we've made, unless the particular profile or policy we're creating is unlocked at the employee level. So this makes changing things a lot easier. Assigning the employees are already done. It makes for a lot better ease of use, especially if you have a lot of employees and you have to go in and make changes frequently. I'll go back quickly to the approvals. I made some changes in the configuration settings so that I can show how those work a little bit better. Let's do the bi-weekly. And here we can see it's more typical of what you're used to. We can sign off over here. So they've changed that wording so the wording matches everywhere. I can select everyone at once, and then I can either sign off here to approve everyone, or I could sign off individually on this side. Whatever process that you follow, but I'm just going to click sign off. Are you sure? I'm going to click OK. Now, this company's set up to be able to approve the current pay period, and since it ends on the 20th, today is the 8th. Since I've approved these, no one would be able to clock in or out for the rest of the week. That's not a typical scenario for most companies. Most companies, it's going to be the prior pay period that will be available for approvals. But you can see here we still have the green A's. This tells me everybody's time is processed, and I can now go in and run my reports without worrying if anybody's hung up or their time card hasn't been processed just yet. So this is my last line of defense before I go and run my reports and send my payroll off. But this is what the new approvals look like. We will be updating other areas as we go so that everything matches. hopefully by doing it a little bit at a time, it gets you more comfortable with it, and it's not going to be a huge learning curve as if we were to do everything all at once. But not only does this make things a lot easier, resize a lot easier, but it allows us to do a lot more in the way of improvements to the application itself. So hopefully this is something that's expected. Again, if you have any issues or any questions, feel free to reach out to support, and we'll be happy to help you with this. Thanks for watching.